Good afternoon, everybody. Microphone check, screen check. Looks like everything's working correctly here. Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully everyone was able to have a fantastic day of trading today so far. Fingers crossed you've enjoyed some of the volatility and everything going on. Big thing really to keep in mind when we're looking at today, I mean, realistically, it's just kind of seeing which way this candle wants to go on the daily, because this is either going to be a huge bull trap or a huge bear trap, one of the two. If we kind of look at that previous bear bar down, the bear entry below that candle is this black line here. That's at 812.75, so technically one tick underneath it. And that area has been a mess all day. Now, there is also the engulfing entry, which is just below that bear bar. But either way, a lot of shorts are kind of playing around their break-even point, trying to figure out, hey, are we stuck or are we not stuck, or what's going on here? Nobody really knows what to do. The market was bullish for quite a while. Now it's down on the day, 0.87%. It's still working its way lower. See if it wants to keep going or see what it wants to do here. Oops, I always do that. I gotta change that shortcut key. All right, sellers working their way lower. Pretty good movement so far, although the move down is a bit choppy sloppy. Nice push to the upside. Possibility that this move up is just going to find sellers to try to push the market right back down again. The trend is continuing to the downside. I mean, buyers aren't exactly winning anything. See if they want to keep this going or what they want to do here. A little bit of back and forth, chop and slop. I mean, realistically, there's not a ton going on yet. Bears starting to come in with a little bit of a push there. And now we just kind of wait. Nice little push back to the downside. Sellers trying to keep a bit of continuation going. See what they're able to do here. Nice quick push down. This is where buyers and sellers are trying to fight. Who's in control? Which way do we go? Bulls trying to drive a little bit more continuation to the upside so far. There we go. Nice bull lift to the upside. Good continuation. If bulls can get a dip back towards the 97 quarters, I have a hard time believing they won't be interested. Even 97.50. Now it's lifted a little bit higher, 802.50. And 97.75. Both of those zones are interesting. Still haven't really pulled back quite yet. All right, swept in for the long, looking for a continuation play back to the upside. At the moment, if the market's going to rally higher, it makes a lot of sense to see like 1350s. If it does want to go further up, then fine, all the way up to 25s is possible. But realistically, the big objective first is to get that push through the highs, get that jump back up towards that 812.75 area. Swept into the second portion. That does modify things a little bit in terms of where the objectives will go. First off, with a few extra contracts, that'll narrow things in a bit. Bullish continuation up to the 804s takes care of the first objective. Herky-jerky, sloppy, choppy, blech of a market. There we go. All right. Stop is locked in because I'm not willing to give that portion back. All right, well, I got taken out anyway. Well, I tried. Secondary objectives are going to be a little bit further up. Of course, NASDAQ had to take me out to the tick first. That's how that rolls. Beautiful jump to the upside. That's the next target. Final target's going to be looking for more continuation, and this is just the trail. Just let it go, see how far it wants to go. Upside objectives are at 825. That would be nice. Of course, realistically, if we can get a move all the way up towards 41.5, I would be, man, I would be a very happy camper. Just need a little more continuation. Good bullishness. Everything's still looking nice and strong. Continue to lock the stop up with price. Beautiful movement. Stop continuing to trail up with price. Doubtable that I'm going to get 41.5, but I'll put it there just in case, you know. Came one tick away. And tapped out. Very nice pop to the upside. Good continuation. See if they can follow through a little bit more. First portion of that really wasn't worth a whole lot. I was looking for that to be an aggressive bounce, and you can see they tried, but then they just kind of fell on their face. So the majority of that was just kind of break even. The secondary portion is a little bit of a wider swing, which technically is still active, I guess. It is pulling back a little bit farther, though. Bump this to 5 and see if that gives me something better to work with. More continuation to the upside. Really nice bull bar. And the bulls just come screaming back in again. Nice big continuation push to the upside. Are you guys able to hear that music? I can't ever tell how loud it should be. My mixer says it's real quiet. Bulls continuing the drive to the upside. Man, bull's still screaming higher. Really nice bullish momentum so far. shallow pullback, and that's a nice bear bar to the downside. I mean, realistically, I would like to see it pull back a little bit further, but buyers have been pretty aggressive. Let's see if they can give a quick little flush down towards the 1350s. That would be the optimal point of interest. Realistically, I don't want to see it break down much, I mean, much below 11, but it shouldn't get down below 8s or 7s. The trend still remains intact pretty nicely. Just got to see which way they want to go. Really sideways, kind of gross price action going on so far. Might even try to grab it a little bit lower at like 1250. Tapped into the 1250s. First upside objective is going to be back up towards the highs around the 22 quarter area. I'm actually going to jump out of the one here and ratchet in a little bit closer. If the bulls are going to take this, this shouldn't stick around for very long. So I'm going to try to widen the target out a little bit further. Take a quicker first target because my entry was basically immaculate. And just looking for a little more continuation to the upside off of that. I got whip back on. And the only reason I modified my approach to that one is because whenever you have a situation where it's a perfect entry like that, there's going to be two scenarios. It's either going to explode in your direction, or it's going to go in your direction, give you a small little scalp, and then back up on you. And sometimes you don't have a chance to get out of the way before it runs you over, which is what we're seeing right now. So that kind of movement, seeing it stall out and seeing it not really lift higher, that's a bit of a problem for me, right? One of the other concerns, and one of the reasons why I kind of modified a little bit here, you can kind of see on the visual that we had this really big bulk of buyers, which worked out nicely, and that caused a nice little push higher. A bit of profit taking, and then a little bit more profit taking, and this is the profit taking that started coming in that made me a bit nervous because they were stacking up kind of heavy. So I jumped ship a little bit early on the first portion to see if they wanted to break through, and they hit those orders and they couldn't, and that's where it floated back down again. Bulls are still trying to get something going, but I mean, they kind of had their shot there. That's a really nice bull bar. They might still follow through on a candle that looks like that. With gapping to the next one and really nice continuation. You might find bulls inside that open gap. Markets don't like having these open spaces. That's not what they like seeing. So having the market back up a little bit, fill in some of that would make sense. Bear engulfing candle that's basically non-existent. Bulls finally showing a bit more continuation back to the upside. A little bit more power this time around. And just like that, bears sweep right back down again with a big old bear bar. That's a big bear bar. But if the sellers fail or they don't even trigger in, that's a big clue. That candle doesn't help anything though. That candle, oh my god. Thing's terrible. Kinda made a new high, sorta. Alright, now we're starting to get some bulls stepping back up to the plate. That's a really nice bull bar, maybe? Well, they gave back quite a bit at the end there. Whoa. And the bears come in just as heavy. Where do they close, though? Okay, I mean, that's not a terrible close. All right, shorts are in it for the breakdown. Nice continuation lower. Possibility, depending on the aggression level of sellers, for a short in this area, for a move right back down again. Short on the NASDAQ with downside objectives back through at least the 800s. I mean, the 800s are going to be the big line in the sand. We're dealing with a big round number. It's a big psychological level. We just bounced off of it, so really got to see the market kind of pressure through this area. Stops in a little bit tighter. All right, taken out of both of those. Didn't want to follow through, and it's not worth hanging on to the risk anymore. Even though the NASDAQ's probably going to top tick me. Yeah. Yep. I like the short, but it's got to come back up a little bit further. And the downside objective now, if it's going to break down, I want to see some pretty good follow through. Because if buyers are stuck, then I should be able to get away with going for a 2-to-1 or more. Sellers trying to get a little bit more follow through. Nice drive to the downside. Stops at break even. I'm not willing to take this at a loss anymore. And take it out at break even. Okay. Well, welcome to 5:30 or 3:30, right? Nice strong bull bar. Man, they top ticked me on the stops again. So frustrating. There's a lot of that going on today. Nice continuation to the downside. Wouldn't mind seeing if the sellers want to try to come back in at like 6/4, but I mean, realistically, you've got to give them some wiggle room here. Yeah, I just don't like it there. Sellers are still looking pretty strong. It's just having a real hard time getting going. Scalpers might have an opportunity if it can jump up towards the 7/2. Get a quick pop up through these highs. So looking for shorts to fade the top at 8/2 and 8, as well as 10.75 and 10/4. Hey, JT, how's it going? Well, they came close to the entry point, but kind of missed it. Ooh, maybe. Might just get a jerk back up. Tested it, no fill. That is incredibly rude, NASDAQ. What? Tested, no fill. See if we can get a little bit of a blow off on the highs this time around. Nice push so far. I'm going to reduce the second portion and see if they want to flush back, because if the sellers aren't going to push back down, then we could potentially be looking for the next zone at 1675, which is going to be a significantly larger area of interest. So I don't want to sell this far down, basically, and with too much size. Downside objectives for a 2-to-1, if it does flush down, would be 97.50. That's the 2-to-1 at least. And now that it's made it back below with this really nice bear bar, I want to see how they follow through, but I mean, realistically, they shouldn't be coming back again. Nice bear flush, but could potentially just be that, a flush, before another follow-through move down. If they break back through the lows of 4/4, then I'm not interested in having it come back again. So a breakdown through the lows, I'm interested for a break-even stop or a little bit lower. Well, not the lows, but the most recent swing low at least. You can see they're messing around with break-evens. Sellers are starting to pony up some muscle here if they break down with an engulfing. They're trying. Woo, big move. There we go. Stop is in. Taken out. Oh, man. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. What a flush. Beautiful jump to the downside. Great move. Kind of fiddled around with it for a little bit there, but I'll take it. Yeah, it's a 21 period moving average. Realistically, the number that you use for the moving average is completely and totally irrelevant. The big thing is having a fast moving average, a medium moving average, a slow moving average. Decide what kind of average you want, and then just understand that that's the kind of average it is. Because all an average is, well, I mean, it's in the name. It's an average. We've done charts just as a joke, but I still have templates of them where every single moving average was randomly generated from Google, and it worked just as fine as anything else. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, 20 versus a 21. You might notice a few differences here and there, but it should be relatively close. Give or take well, with the NASDAQ, give or take like a point. All right, still waiting to see if the sellers want to keep following through or if we're going to end with a higher low and rotate this back up. Still in a bit of a fist fight here. Sellers trying. Another pretty good bull bar off the bottom. Falling resistance across the way. Market's not really accomplishing a whole lot. It's just a giant wedge, really. All things considered. Wow. Well, hello there, bull bar. That is one heck of a statement candle right there. Seriously. well, it was bearish. Micro double bottom floating above 802.5 so far. Current candle still forming though. Micro double bottoms in this small of an area might get bought up given how strong of a rally up that was. That will have taken some people a bit by surprise. Scalpers might be trying to look to buy a wash underneath 250s. Otherwise, bull trend, if there is going to be a bull trend, is still very early. Yeah, it's a strong move up, but it's the first time they've been able to get above the moving average for longer than, you know, a handful of candles. It's looking good, though. Buyers looking for that quick wash push down to 805s or so. Mostly for scalpers. The zone up here is the definite zone of resistance too, so a little bit of a back and forth fight. Ooh, sellers coming in above that previous bear bar's high, though. That's not good. Bulls do not want to see that happen. Oh, they're trying to take it back. They're like, don't you dare trigger that bear bar. They took it. They said no to the sellers. Now it's the sellers' turn for a rebuttal. I'm not as interested in the washout anymore. They already had the ramp to the highs. That's what I was looking for. This pullback now is more likely going to be a trap. Get the weak hands buying in. I mean, it might still bounce, but it lost a lot of interest for me. Start setting up with another bull bar looking like that, though. You'll get my interest. Not way up there. Jeez. Strong bear bar off, well, kind of. It gave back a little bit at the end there. But sellers might be trying to get a continuation move underneath. It's a pretty obvious shelf of support resting at around those 7s. Still. I just don't know that I want to be the one to the party trying to buy it this time around. Not with that heavy bear bar off the highs and how whippy, choppy it's been. That's a tough one. Could you perhaps elaborate on how you spot a trap? I caught a few last week in hindsight. Yeah, so a trap really comes down to the psychological reading, or at least the way that I interpret a trap. When I say trap personally, right, everybody's going to view a trap differently. When I say a trap personally, what I mean is someone got in expecting something to happen, and before their targets were reached, they got dumped on. Sometimes it happens really fast. Those are usually the best traps, so they just get triggered in and bam, it's just gone. Other times, it's a little bit more of a slow, painful grind. But when it comes to traps, a lot of times the location is the important part because the majority of the best traps are really good looking signals in the wrong place, right? A really good bullish second long with a 50% Fibonacci at the top of a channel, right? It doesn't matter how many things you can put on there to make it sound good. You're still buying the top of a channel. It's a really bad spot to be a buyer. Those are where the best traps take place. If you can get those traps to go along with a trend, those are even better. So as an example, what I mean by that with a with trend trap, this at first, when it first reversed up, we don't know that it's going to be a bull trend. We don't see any of this, right? So all we see is this leg up and then maybe a higher low. And then we get a higher high. Okay, well, things start shifting gears a little bit. Now they're starting to turn the corner. And you can see I started buying into that as well. And you get that continuation leg to the upside. What ends up happening is when you've got this kind of lightning bolt, now you've got the higher high, higher low, higher high, and starting to work on the higher low. Basically, every trend following system on the planet is going to see that. They might already be in, to be fair. And if they are, this is what I like utilizing to my advantage, because if they are, their stops are going where? Remember, humans are lazy. We take the easy way out of almost anything. Swing low, right? What better spot than to put it at a swing low? So along the way, you've got a swing low. I'll put my stop there. Easy peasy, right? Oh, I'll put my stop there. All right. Put my stop there. Perfect. Market's rallying higher. Ooh, I'll put my stop right there. So these are some of my favorite traps, because realistically, this is a terrible spot to put your stop. That's not a swing. I mean, it's a swing low, I guess, but it's a wick on the bottom of a bar in an otherwise consecutive rally higher. These are the types of things that will sucker people out, where they'll move their stops up, they'll ratchet up a little bit too close, they'll put their stops underneath, and they'll look to, feel safe. And it's just enough for the market to come back, take them out, and then bam, go flying right back to the upside again. They did that crap to me earlier on this trade right here. I got stopped out like on the high tick. It happens sometimes, That's a trap. And you'll notice what did I do? Right after I realized it was a trap, I got back in again. I didn't take profit in time, and that ended up being a break even too. Go figure, right? But that's usually the follow through, because when there's a trap like that, whether it's a trap that's trapping people out of a move, like they wanted to be long, they got stuck out of their long, now they have to get back in, or it's a trap that wants to fill some big orders, or whatever the situation is. It's all contextual. Yeah, exactly. It's not necessarily a setup in and of itself, because it depends on what's going on around it. It is an example, right? From a contextual standpoint, if I wanted to be a buyer and I were a pure price action trader and second longs, those were my thing. And maybe you know what those are, maybe you don't. That part doesn't really matter. It's buying above the second attempt from the buyers. All right, so we've got the first move down, buyers try once, buyers try twice. Buyers will buy this. It's a strong bull bar. It's a great possible bear trap. Everything's lining up. Buyers will buy here, right? And what will they do? Well, they'll put their stop underneath the low. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. And we know that happened. I mean, that's the assumption at the time. But then we can look back and prove ourselves right or wrong, right? If that is right, there's going to be a lot of action that takes place there. Well, seems like there was a lot of action that took place there. I don't know about you. But it seems like there might have been a couple orders resting there, So it is very contextual, but depending on what's going on, they can be the make or break of a trade. And sometimes the context going into a trade will tell you to stay out of it too. So, I mean, it can be useful to have in your tool belt one way or the other. Sellers rolling back down again. We've got 12 minutes to go until we hit the end of the day. Looks like a final pop from the bulls and sellers trying to ramp it back down again. Scalpers might try to gear up for a breakdown on this bear bar. Well, never mind. that breakdown, that's the one I was talking about right there. Oof. Well, fair enough, NASDAQ. Fair enough. Nice quick pop back to the upside again. Did find some volume back in those 790s. Ooh, man. Seems like buyers are coming in with some heat here. We've got 30 seconds until the 10-minute drop point. 10 minutes before, things usually start going real wild, so be careful here. Got 30 seconds until fireworks. Nice little inside bear bar. We'll find sellers below it. Little too much bullishness for me to want to try to tempt fate, especially with 5 seconds to go until 350. Yeah, you see that 30 tick jump that just happened? Yeah. That's why I don't like messing around with 350. 350 Eastern time tends to be a little bit weird. Very nice bear bar to the downside, though. That bear bar is triggering in a second short, and this long would be a second short failure. It's forcing buyers to buy high, so they're going to want it to go fast. Otherwise, they're looking for pullbacks. We still have higher highs, lower lows. Kind of megaphoning a little bit. Oh, excuse me. Jeez. The hiccup of doom. All right, we got a few minutes left. Market pulling back a little bit again. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Going into the end of the day. Still just kind of, not doing a ton, really. Hovering. Might be a potential for scalpers to start hitting around this area here. We're starting to get to that final 2 minutes. At 58, that's the next time that things go a little bit funky and weird and what I consider fun. 2 minutes. Coming into the end of the day. 2 minutes left. All right, we are getting close to the end of the day as well, so I've got some meetings to wrap up. So we'll watch the last minute and a half or so, and then we'll call it a day. Great afternoon. A little bit vindictive inside there, but little bit vindictive. Kept the stops real small. Nice runs today. Glad I caught the stream today. I've been digging your channel. The comments, my man. Appreciate it. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you like it. Not a problem. Glad to see you. Got 1 minute left. Here come the final fireworks. Got a lot of really cool stuff coming up on the horizon, so I'm super pumped about everything coming down the pipe. There's just not enough hours in the day, you know? All right, final 20 seconds. Big heavy bear bar. Whoa. Doesn't look like there's going to be enough volatility for me to scalp anything, but ooh, nice bear bar off the top. 5 seconds left, though. Not enough time. And there we go into 4 o'clock. Interesting. Okay, big rally to the upside to finish the day off. Whoa! All right. Any hints about what's coming up? Keep your eyes and ears peeled on YouTube over the next probably week or so. I've been recording in like a freaking madman in the background. There's a lot of cool things going on, but I'm not gonna spill the beans too much. That takes away the fun. All right, I got to jump out though. I've got to head over to a meeting, and yeah, that'll do it. Hopefully, you had a great day of trading today. Hopefully, you had a great afternoon of trading. And yeah, as per the usual, that'll do it. So rest up, enjoy, and we will see you all. We will see you all probably tomorrow afternoon. All right. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get some volatility. Have a good one. We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.